So I want you to imagine a scenario for me. The year is 2028. Approximately 10 years after the world has ended. Meteorites have rained on the Earth, bringing forth space Ebola that has turned people into zombies. If you're like, what the hell, then welcome to the club. Hi, I'm Mobby Nerd, and I upload whatever I want. That's a scenario that's explored in this really weird manhwa called The Last Human. It's about our protagonist, Zhao Taixin, whose name I probably butchered, surviving an apocalypse with a very weird virus. Let me just throw that out there. Out of all the fictional viruses, right? Or spins on real world viruses with fictional effects, this is probably one of the weirdest ones I've ever heard of. So it starts out in the year 2028 with our boy Zhao Taixin surrounded by hordes of the undead that look more like really weird space goblins rather than zombies. But it is what it is. He loudly proclaims he's taking them out with him, and he presumably does take them out with him because he dies and wakes back up in his classroom years before all that just happened to him. Years before all that, but literally like maybe a few hours before the apocalypse begins. Now, what would you do in that situation if that was you? You see, if you think about it, you went back in time and you now have the advantage of knowing everything that happens before it happens, because everything's going to play out exactly the same. Like, what kept me reading it was how he interacted with people, knowing what they do when the shit hits the fan. Like, for example, there's a moment in the manga where he is face to face with his school crush, his school honey, the most popular girl in school, who he sent a love letter to prior to him waking back up from being punched back through time. He went from really being head over heels for this girl to absolutely hating her guts, because he knows when the shit hits the fan, when they are all trying to escape, she gets a lot of people killed because she's selfish and she's only looking out for herself.
That's what selfish means.
Naturally, if you had that knowledge prior, you're gonna be like, I don't want nothing to do with this person. And at least there's some funny interactions of this big airheaded wannabe idol getting shut down and completely rejected by somebody that she herself tried to ridicule. It's kind of funny to see that play out. Zhao Taixin as a character, really, he's kind of flat. He really only cares about finding his future girlfriend before she's his girlfriend, which I don't know how that works. Like, could you imagine somebody coming to you out of nowhere like, look, you don't know me yet, but like in the future we get together, and I just want to get together now in advance, if that's okay. Hey, the apocalypse kind of makes it a little different, I guess. Situation's a little more dire. You got the dead walking the earth. Maybe it's a little more believable. Anyways, Zhao Taixin is, to put it frankly, pretty overpowered in this scenario. And let me tell you why. Basically, meteorites fall and crumble into the Earth's atmosphere, landing in every corner of the Earth, spreading forth space Ebola that causes everybody to fall unconscious due to being infected by the airborne virus. Those who made direct contact with a meteorite reanimate as zombies who want to eat pretty much everything that's not a zombie. And others, those who are more resistant to the virus, they don't become zombies, but they still have that space Ebola inside of them. Where our protagonist has learned over the years that through the power of meditation, you can concentrate that space Ebola into superpowers, such as that weird listening ability you get in The Last of Us. Some people get night vision, super strength, super speed. It's really starting to sound like a shonen. Our protagonist kind of drew the short end of the stick when it came to the evolutionary traits of his Ebola, since his, as he stated himself, is painfully average. But here's the thing. He has two things going for him so early in the apocalypse. One, even if he's average compared to other people who have superpowers, his average is still way above your average human, your average person. He's faster, he can jump higher, he's kind of stronger. I think he has healing abilities too. Let's just say him learning to master that early on makes him the equivalent of One Punch Man in the zombie apocalypse. That's the best way I can describe it. There are so many funny instances of people using this Ebola power. Like, there's this panel you're seeing right now that's someone getting punched in the balls with the power of Ebola. That's all I'll say. What the hell? Oh my God, it's so weird. It's so weird. Also, some of the faces you see in these panels are basically meme-worthy. They're really funny expressions, you know? I really get a chuckle out of this post. You can post these out of context as like reaction images. They're that funny. With such a wacky premise, right? The story actually gets really dark for so far for one of the characters that I've read. It gets really, really dark. I'm not gonna spoil why, because again, I really feel like you should just read this. However you come across it, if you see it, read it, pick it up. Trust me, it's a ride. It's an interesting ride. I really do feel like if some of these scenarios were animated, like as an actual anime, they would rival some of the more dark apocalyptic scenarios that animes that have come out nowadays have tried to kind of tackle, you know? It's way more impactful. I did not expect to be like, oh, shit. You know? Well, you don't know yet, but you will know. If you read it, you will know. I apologize. If it isn't painfully obvious, I don't script these videos. I just turn on the camera and talk about what I experienced. Anyways, you can tell the fine ladies that worked on this manhwa really like Naruto, because there is a character that is unapologetically wearing Sakura's getup from Naruto for no reason. Just some random thug in the background is dressed like Sakura, headband and all, hidden leaf logo and all, unapologetically Naruto. Anyways, this is just a short segment that I want to start doing where whenever I come across something that's really weird and noteworthy, I want to talk about it. I'm going to call it as a working title, This Is a Thing That Exists. It's going to be the weirdest short. It's going to be weird. It's how it's going to look funny. Anyways, I ranted and I rambled. I apologize. Off script. You know me. If you like this video, then maybe subscribe. But if you don't like it, you can dislike the video. I really appreciate you sticking around until the end to do so. I'm Mobby Nerd, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody who's been supporting this channel via Patreon. You guys are the MVPs. I seriously am beyond grateful. And it's actually been helping in a lot of ways. Seriously, I do not think that this channel would even be around right now if not for the overwhelming support back when I got removed from the partnership program. Seriously, you guys are the best. You the best.